Hello, MGTOW. Hello, men. This is Howard Dare. Thanks for stopping by. So, I want to ask you a question. Did you forget? You forgot. I know you did. I know you did. Because you're asking yourself right now, what? What is he asking if I forgot? You forgot. I forgot too. That's the thing. And here's the problem. We're designed to forget. We want to forget. And everybody around us wants us to forget. And if we forget, we become a psychological victim of a gynocentric system that sees us as nothing but utilities, slaves, animals, tools, something to be thrown away. So the very attitude that you have towards interacting with certain people that you've been conditioned to behave as, that you are biologically, psychologically disposed to behave as, will turn you into a slave. And you forgot. I forgot too. Now, if you watched my previous video, you'll know what I'm talking about. If you didn't watch my previous video, you won't really know what I'm talking about. It is the painful truth. It is the painful awareness of knowing that you have been betrayed. And I know it hurts to hear that, to even think that. And that's part of the situation, okay? As a man, whatever it is that's happened, you want to say, let it go, move on, be strong, put it out of your mind. I know that's what you want to do. Everything that's painful, everything that's difficult, everything that seems unfair, you have been conditioned to say to it, I can deal with it, I'll overcome it, ignore it. Because you're not a victim, you're a man. And you get things done, and you don't get emotional, and you don't let things bother you. But you're in a gynocentric system that sees you as a slave and a utility, and it's manipulating you and is mocking you based on your very nature. And if you forget that, and you go along with that, well, then you're working every day to your own slavery. You are not working to your advantage. And the people around you are manipulating you and smiling and saying pretty things to you and saying, oh, come on, we really do like you. When you know they don't care about you. They don't even know your name. And you're smiling and saying, oh, okay, I'll do it. And the psychological pain of looking at it and thinking to yourself, they don't give a shit about me. I shouldn't do jack shit for them. You don't even want to look at it because you have to do that job. So that's what I'm saying you forgot. And you didn't just forget it, you wanted to forget it. It's like having a wife that's cheating on you that you can't divorce and that, you can't confront her with it, okay? You want to put it out of your mind. Or how about that she's not cheating on you, okay? I don't want to upset anybody. I'm not trying to be an asshole. How about that she just really doesn't respect you, That she thinks she can kick your ass, that she thinks at any given moment she can call the police and just tell a lie and have you locked up. So what if you're living under that sort of psychological pressure? What if you're living under that sort of condition, okay? And I'm suggesting that as a man, you are. I'm suggesting that when you go into work, the women are looking at you and thinking, I can get him fired by just telling a lie about him. And they don't recognize, they don't understand the moral and the ethical implications of that, the meaning of it to the sustainability of the system that supposedly supports them, that they couldn't build. Okay, so that's the system you're in. And you as a man, you want to forget that. You want to just move on from it. Because one, there's practically nothing you can do about it, or that's what you think. And two, it's terribly fucking painful. Right? It's like you're sitting down at a poker game where everybody's got thousands of dollars in the reserve. You've only got $50. They've all got an extra deck of cards in their back pocket. They're all willing to cheat. And they're just smiling at you and saying, hi, come on, sit down. Let's play a game. And you know, because you've lost every game you've ever played with them. And they've always laughed at you. And I'm sorry, I'm not meaning to do this. What I'm saying to you is that, well, I hope you watched my other video. Yeah, this is going to be kind of hard. This might be kind of hard. This might be difficult and painful. If you've watched my previous video, this will be a little easier. So there's this horrible con job going on, this horrible manipulation of men going on. And it's happening to you, it's happening to me, and it happens to everybody. But there's no real reason for you to be personally hurt by it. You will be personally hurt by it, but you don't need to bear the guilt and the shame of being personally hurt by it. Most men can't even admit that this is the situation, that women are exploiting them, that the government, that the overarching system has lied to them and is manipulating them to get their resources and considers them disposable. That's a painful truth, isn't it? to say that the people around you don't care about you, that the work you're doing and they're smiling and they're being polite about, they don't care about you. And if you were to just drop dead, they would simply replace you, and they probably wouldn't remember your name. Some of them would, I don't mean to be an asshole. I'm just saying that there's these terrible psychological truths that as a man, if you can face them, you can overcome them. It won't be easy. You can't do it immediately. And that the real pain of this awareness is the fact that it was done to you and that the people didn't care about you individually. And that destroys a man's faith moving forward. And I know that a man, that you or I, can overcome almost any physical difficulty if our heart is in it. If a man believes that the people around him, really believe in him and care about him, he'll do anything for them. There's almost nothing he can't overcome. Truly. I mean, look at what man can build. Look at what man has done. So that's what man can do. Not women, not everybody's all equal. No, only men can do those types of things, and only men do those types of things. Build bridges, build skyscrapers, discover cures, invent things, all those things. Women can do them, they can copy men. They don't do those things. But if a man feels that he's being cheated, and I'm not talking about all men, I'm talking about civilized good men, rational, reasonable men. If he feels he's being cheated, he won't do anything. The key really is freedom, right? If a man is free and he has motivated self-interest and he's working in a free capitalistic system, that's it. You know what I mean? He is then free and open to build himself, and he will. But if you limit that in any way, if you make it so that the women can use their sexuality to get ahead in the job market and then use that to get the competitive alpha man fired, right? If you set up that circumstance, you destroy the engine of progress and of evolution as well. Right, because now all these blue pills, low-level men that are willing to lie and cheat and to supplicate to the women, they're the men who start getting good jobs, and they're the men who can afford houses. So that's the dysgenetic situation that we're facing right now. And there's just this flood of people who, these fake men. I'm sorry, I don't know what the right word to call them is. Well, men who have been raised by women and who have adopted these women values and things like that in this female system to get ahead, right? And they've got no awareness of any sort of virtue or anything like that. So anyway, that's a little off topic. So there's the, young man coming up, individual man, and he's got all these good qualities, this virtue, and that's what we need to build up. And that's the type of man that needs to be supported to build up a family and everything like that. But we're playing this, female game of emotional, magical thinking and interpretation of the world. And the men who don't go along with it are kicked out of the system. And the men who do go along with it, that are just these weak, feminine men, they gain the advantages of the system, okay? And the individual man dealing in the system doesn't even want to remember it. He wants to kind of forget it and just say, I'm just moving on, I'm just dealing with it. Because the psychological pain of, my own family did this to me, my own sisters did this to me, the woman who, I said I loved and I sacrificed so much for, she did this to me. And it's like, okay, I'm not going to do anything for anybody, and I feel like shit now, and I'm not going to work hard, or blah, 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 blah. And here's what I'm saying to you guys, is that part of it, the psychological, she didn't do it to you, okay? They didn't do it to you. They do it to everybody. That's what they do. That is this system. So you get to put aside that psychological stigma of, that you were traumatized. You were, but you're strong enough physically to get over it. And the psychological burden of it, it's not really personal. They do it to all men. They did it to me. And the only reason why they haven't done it to that other guy is because he's acted like such a supplicating bitch, or he's gotten lucky, or the women and the people around him, or are quality people, or the circumstances around him have not enabled it or required it to happen yet. But it will happen. He will come to this red pill awareness, and it will bust him up inside, and it will cause the red pill rage. And this point that I'm trying to make right now that you are going to forget is you don't want to look at how bad this situation is, and you want to take it personally. So go ahead and remember how bad the situation is. And with that, also remember that none of it was personal. That even though, you're the one who lost your job, even though you're the one that they didn't really care about. So it was personal. They would have done it to anybody. They do it to everybody under any circumstance, where the difficulty arises. That's how men are treated. So they didn't send you off to die in a war. They sent everybody off to die in that war. And it's happening every day, all right? Every time that women are saying, oh, men only want to have sex, they have no real virtue and qualities, right? Even though men invented philosophy and medicine and all of the conveniences and all of the inventions and all of the humanity-saving aspects, men invented those things, right? But women are just like, oh, no, they just want to have sex. They're all just a bunch of rapists. Oh, he's just like Hitler. So this attack is going on all the time. So you're not going to be able to forget that aspect of the attack. The minute you turn on the media, you're gonna encounter the psychological attacks on men, on the virtue and the quality of men, and that's you. Right? So no matter how good you are as an individual, the image and the ideal of what a man is, that's been undercut. So you could be a great man, but the society and the culture you're in doesn't think men are worth a dime, you know, a little bit above a dog. So you're not going to want to look at that. You're going to want to put that out of your mind and go on like everything's okay. Go ahead and look at it. Go ahead and remember it. Understand that, you know, they're just dependents. That's how they get their self-worth. That's how they manipulate the young man into doing, you know, what they want him to do. They do it to all the men. They didn't do it to you personally, even though it happened to you personally. This will allow you to get rid of, you know, that psychological stigma of that. So go ahead and remember that. Go ahead, check out my previous videos and let me know what you think about this in the comments section below. Also, go ahead and like, share, comment, subscribe, donate. And please join me again, Howard Dare, as I plan to have more content for you. Thank you, MGTOW.